Yeah, let's see. It's preparing for the stream. We don't have space on.
No, it'll give you several options. You want to save it to the computer. Just make sure you turn your volume down on YouTube. Okay, hold on.
Okay. I'm all over the place.
Hello, everybody.
Hello, hello, hello.
Greetings, everyone. Give us one moment before we start. We're setting up for a recording. If you can make me host, we can take it from there. Okay.
I just gave you host.
Thank you, Bishop.
Hello.
How are you?
Eyes be well.
Beautiful. Deacon Jojo, are you going to facilitate? Because Jerry had asked me to cover, but if you're going to, I'm good.
This is Rainey Speaks.
We're in the wrong place. Okay.
Yes, this is the link for Rainey Speaks. Okay, we're going to continue from here.
Colors.
Thank you once again and welcome to Rainey Speaks. We're here every first Tuesday of the month.
Am I Are we going? Are we ready?
Yes, we are on.
Well, welcome to Rainey Speaks. One thing, we got some technical problems. We're having a lot of feedback.
Click on your YouTube and either pause or turn or stop the volume from your YouTube.
I can't, I think you have to do it.
Try to pull up your YouTube, click on the YouTube, because once you start it, you have two screens up. You can't see it. Your YouTube is running in the background, so you have to turn that volume down. Either try to pause it or stop the speaker.
Okay, I think we are ready. Sorry about the technical problems here. Hi, I am Rainey Cheeks, and welcome to Rainey Speaks. We are live every Tuesday, the first Tuesday of the month.
Okay.
Okay,
Sure. Oh, share your screen. If you can share your screen, that green, okay, let me make you co-host. Get this going.
I just stopped the YouTube piece. Let's just move forward. You with me?
Yes, I'm still here.
Okay. Everyone, greetings. It is a journey to get see what happens when we take a month off and we get a little bit out of practice. But welcome to Rainey Speak, and tonight I'm going to really talk about what is metaphysics. And the question that came up was, what is metaphysics and where is it taking us, I think, in the future? And really is, where is it taking us right now? Metaphysics. If you look it up, you'll find different branches of metaphysics. Metaphysics is a branch of philosophy. You will hear many people who study metaphysics will talk more about philosophy. And so questions that start in metaphysics are, how did we get here? What's the meaning of life? How did things come into existence? There's a theory, imagine this, that says God is dreaming and we are the dream. Okay, wrestle with that one. God is dreaming and we are the dream. So that if God wakes up, the dream stops. That means we stop existing. So metaphysics is understanding the hidden meaning of things, whether it is scriptures or events. When you start talking about the underlying meaning, I study spiritual science. So spiritual science, when you talk about spiritual science, first, what is science? Science is the observation and the study of how things work. Spiritual science, the observation, study, and the practical application of how things work in the unseen world. In other words, we go to prove it. You say that this happens in the spirit world, prove it. And there's been a lot of proof. Metaphysics. So when we start talking about metaphysics, depending on who you talk to, some people will take you back to the turn of the century, and that's when you're going to run into people like Alice Bailey, Blavatsky, Steiner, Ledbetter. You run into that group. That's the 1910, 1930s in there. But actually, if you go back further, you go back into Egypt, when you go back into the study of Kemet, you begin to look at all the hieroglyphics and all of that had meaning in the spirit world. And I would take it even further. If you go back into other parts of Africa where they communicate with the spirit world, either by going in trance or going into possession or communicating with spirit world or being able to read the different signs and symbols that were happening around them. That's metaphysics. So no, it goes back much past the 20s and the 30s. And you also hear the term new thought. I laugh with the term new thought because there's nothing new. You're studying ancient philosophy and ancient techniques that were all the way back in 2,000 years ago. Truthfully, if you want to study metaphysics, one of the greatest people you could ever study metaphysics from was Jesus, turning water to wine. All the symbology that was around Jesus would make him one of the greatest metaphysicians in existence. Being able to heal people, being able to make the deaf hear and the blind see. Because when you read into the stories, it is not just about being physically blind, it's about being spiritually blind or being ignorant, lack of knowledge. That's why when Jesus said, the dead will all, no, let the dead bury the dead. When he said, I got to go bury my brother, he died. He said, let the dead bury the dead. In other words, some people are dead in consciousness. And so we have walking dead around us all the time. And I know many of you have experienced it. You look at somebody and go, when are they going to wake up? So metaphysics deal with questions like, what's the meaning of life? How did we get here? What is consciousness? Are there different levels of consciousness? What is our place in the universe? How do we fit in here? All the stars and planets are they're not there by accident. There's a divine order of everything moving and everything happening. There's a divine order to it. I run into people at times that ask me to say things like, I can't prove there's God. And my answer to that is very simple. The last person that said that to me, I said, how many strings of hair are on your head? He said, I don't know. I said, exactly how long is your intestines? I don't know. Can you tell me exactly what day you will die and leave the planet? He said, I don't know. I said, if you can't answer the basic questions like that, how can you look at something that is so intelligent and so powerful that it can create the universe and that you can't understand? You don't even know how many how many strings of hair on your head. So metaphysics get us into questioning and to look at the deeper meanings in things around us. Some of the new metaphysical schools, I'll start with the Spiritual Science Center, where I'm a proud graduate of and now the director of. Look at unity, look at Church of Two Worlds. I'm leaving out one. Look at Tacoma Park Metaphysical Center, and I am leaving out a couple. But those are the schools of new thought. I'm just going to read the guidelines for spiritual science, and then you'll get even a deeper meaning of what is being said. Oops. Okay. First one, God, the universal creative energy, the creator and the sustainer of the universe, permeates all within it. In other words, it permeates, it enforces everything that's in it. The universe is a whole and a dynamic state of constant growth. They have already looked out and think about the pictures of the Hubble telescope, and they said it's still unfolding. Stars and things are still unfolding. The life drive of every entity aims at complete unification with the universal creative power. In other words, every entity aims at completely joining back into the universal creative power, God. Man, as an immortal spirit and a co-creator, is the master of their own destiny, completely responsible for every thought, word, and deed. We are responsible. We are co-creators. So what are you co-creating? Most of us do not have the power to co-create, but we create a mess. So, yes, we are co-creators, and we must understand our power, and we're responsible for every thought, every word, and every deed that we do. The individual free will embodies a relationship to universal will. Our free will is in relationship to the universal will. The growth of awareness and spirituality is in direct couple with the increase and the role of the universal will. So our growth and our awareness is linked into the universal will. Wisdom is the secret of all religions, the power of the mysteries, and the essence of all. Wisdom. Even in the Bible, what did Solomon? Wisdom. Wisdom directs us, wisdom guides us, and that's why, wisdom allows you to look and realize, I don't need to experience that. Wisdom makes you realize that's not for my better good. Wisdom says I don't need to jump into every conversation. Waiting, discovery, and the realization of the light and the power of God within. Communication at spirit level is a fact, and everyone is psychic. True. How many times have you had a premonition about something and it came true? The path of wisdom, however, is seeking first the kingdom of God and its righteousness. All things are added to man as he grows. Soul unfoldment is the purpose of life. Paternal service is the way of life. Woo-wee. That is the 9 principles that fall under spiritual science that guides us on the journey. That has been for the last, since the 70s, my guiding principles on how I function. Responsible for every thought, word, and deed in a constant state of growth. Everyone is. That's why there's no judgment when I look at people. I realize I just look at you, that you're on your journey of growing. And whatever life needs to teach you, it will. So anybody have any questions, please just jump in tonight. I'm just allowing it to flow. And that's why we have to take a look at our life and really ask yourself the questions like, what is my purpose? When you really start questioning, what is my purpose in life? What is my purpose of being here? What did the divine force send me here to do? In relationship with God, we are co-creators. The other thing that it constantly reminds me that at any given moment, I can be the student or I can be the teacher. It flips back and forth. So at any given time, I can be the student and the teacher. And I remembered, no matter how old you are, how bright you are in a constant state of growth. You know, I used to joke with people and say, don't get mad with me, I'm still growing up. We are in a constant state of growth. If you see everything the same way you did 5 years ago, guess who didn't grow? If you see everything the same way you did last year, guess who didn't grow? And there are, every struggle that comes to you is the universe testing you to see, have you grown? If you get mad and you got to prove everything, you're not settled. No, I don't care what people think about me. I can't worry about that. Only thing I can do is present my best. You judge it the way you see it. And I do my best to learn life lessons so that I can move forward. It is challenging. Oh, it is so challenging. But I am so glad that I accept the challenge. I wanted to make a point, and it went right past me.
I have a question, Bishop.
Yep.
Okay, so my question is, with the enlightenment that metaphysical teachings bring to the student, I'll say for myself, there comes a point when the old structures that were upholding me are no longer useful the way they were, because I have transcended a need for certain things, or maybe I have a greater need for something else. How does one navigate the enlightenment and how it shifts relationships and how it shifts, some of the basic supports that were around that are no longer needed? Like, how does one navigate that?
One, you have to get to a place within yourself that you have nothing to prove. How many ministers wouldn't dare have me at their church? Paul, I had someone that sent me a letter. It was about 10 years now. And in the letter it said, "Dear Bishop, you may not remember me. I used to come to your church." This was the key part of it. He said, "I disagreed with most of what you were teaching. I came because the music was off the chain. You had Jackie Ruffin and William Hubbard and Brian Bookhart, and the music was slamming. I came to church for the music. Only after studying have I discovered that you were more right than wrong. I just wasn't ready to hear it. I don't have to prove anything when I can present my truth. You accept it or you don't. You have to present your truth. People accept it or they don't. Either they are in a position where they can see it and maybe immediately embrace it. Maybe they have their aha moment, like, oh, I see where you're going or how you got there. And some people will go, they don't make no sense at all. You don't have no control over that. And you're going to waste time and energy trying to prove anything to anybody. Don't live your truth, and whatever it is. Certain things serve us while we're in this position, and then we outgrow it. And the thing is, when you outgrow it and move on to something else, the people that are still in that position think you're wrong. It's like, no, this still works for me. Well, it works for you, boo-boo. It doesn't. I tell people all the time, I don't know if I use the word Christian. I'm a follower of Christ. I love Jesus, but the forms of Christianity that I see, I don't want to touch most of it. And I know a lot of pastors, I ain't gonna call no names. I know a lot of pastors who say the same thing. So is this helping you? Is it making sense?
Absolutely. I'm able to extract it and apply it to where I am. But yes, it absolutely makes sense. Because basically I was asking you about outgrowing space and outgrowing, just going, yeah. So you're right on task. It's making sense. Thank you.
You said about yeah, sometimes we outgrow.
Yeah.
And that doesn't make the other thing bad. It served its purpose. That's why, listen, that's why I had the rule at church. The door swings both ways. It wasn't locked when you came in. It's not locked if you need to go. And if you need to go someplace that you grow more, I'm supporting you all the way. But do the same thing for me when I say, no, I need to turn this way. You may need to stay there because there's lessons and things that you need to learn there. No matter what group we go to, because I can tell you, I've been around some supposedly most enlightened groups, and you find some people that are just so stuck in dogma, it's like, wow. And I always say, in transitioning in things, you take your time, have clear eyes. Don't do it out of ego, do it out of purpose. Yeah, so I hope that helps you out. Good question. Anybody else got a question? Catch me while I'm hot. So that is perfect when on the part of where is it taking us now? When I look at churches, let's just think of church. Churches have changed greatly. Zoom has changed churches. People can just lay in the bed and watch TV. I think that's personally, I think that's a little lazy. That I can't get up and get dressed to worship the divine force that made me. I think I can brush my teeth and wash my face and put on some clothes. But people are questioning more and more and being able to look at things and go, that might have worked for my grandmama, but that don't work for me. That might have worked for daddy, but that don't work for me. And so people are beginning to challenge basic stuff more and more, not just in church, all across the board. We really are in the age of Aquarius. And Aquarius is the water picture being pulled out. Well, that water washes away a lot of stuff. Think of how many places are flooding. They showed a map of not Florida, Louisiana, with the bayous and all of that, and how much water has just taken over parts of the land. Look at the storms we're having. Look at the snow that fell this year. Water, everything is around water, which cleanses and washes and changes things. And the way we are thinking and the way people are viewing things is changing greatly. And it's leaving some people behind. And some people are like, nope, I'm staying right here. They're not wrong, and you changing is not wrong. Everybody has to find their path. That's the beauty of studying metaphysics.
Yeah, Bishop. I was somebody was speaking. I can't even remember what I was listening to, and they were saying that the youth. Oh, I know it was on. They had on the news about these young people who are demanding that the government, that the mayors of the cities, the governors, the senators, they were, the young lady was saying, you work for us, we pay your salaries, and from now on you're being given notice. If you don't do what you're supposed to be doing, you will not have a job in the future. We are not putting up with it. And not listen to that, and I was like, these young people are not playing. She was like in her early 20s. I said, these young people are not playing. They want change, and they're going about it.
You think of this. The model was you get a job and you stay there and you work 20 years and you retire and you get a pension and da-da-da-da. Now people stay on a job 18 months, switch and go to another job. I love our friend Moses. He's a traveling psychologist. 90 days on a job, and then boop, he's gone to another job. 90 days, boop, gone to another job. And I'm like, yes, things are changing. The way universities, how they're accepting people, young people, how they're seeing stuff. We are in the age, we are now feeling the effects of the age of Aquarius. New enlightenment. It can't be done the same old way. We can sing some of the old songs and we can appreciate it, but you better, baby, move over because the new music is here. I remember when Donald Vales and several other gospel singers were kind of wrestling over sort of the new music that was coming in, like Kirk Franklin and you know, versus the old hymns like and music like James Cleveland and stuff. And it was like, it's a new day. A lot of people don't think that gospel rap is gospel, but the young people get it, and they praise just as hard as people that are singing I love you, Lord, today, or we've come this far by faith. So yeah, it is a new day. And it's supposed to happen. This happens every time a new change comes. They're supposed to happen. Some people are going to be stuck. They're going to go down with the ship. And I say, God bless you. And then there are going to be those who go, nope, let me get off this girl and sink in. I don't want to go in that direction. And what I love is a lot of people are in the place of, I don't know. And I have said to several people, it's good to be in a place of, I don't know. At least you know you're in the place of, I don't know. That gives you a chance to start exploring all the other possibilities. Yeah. So where is it taking us? It's taking us exactly to where it's supposed to be. More people are more enlightened and waking up, and even older. Now, here's the thing. Don't think it's just young people. I know people that are in their 60s and 70s are waking up, going, and we're having conversations, and they are deep into it. Like, yes, you know, I always felt like something was like that. So it's not just young people. Young people are out on the street marching. Old people like me, my feet hurt, I don't march. So, however, I do recognize the change, and I do recognize that that energy is moving. And so we're going to find many different expressions of it. Yeah, we're going to find many different expressions of how this new energy is coming. It's going to be everything from young people seeing politics differently. I loved it when, I can't think of his name, the two young Black,
The Justins.
yes, and they all old white men kicked them out and then had to bring them back. And they are marching in with this new force, and they don't know what to do with them. And that's happening all over the country, not just in politics. It's happening in every area, in schools, in churches, in mosques, you name it, it's happening. So yeah, we're beginning to see the effects of it, and it's taking us, where is it taking us? Keep breathing. It's taking us into a real new place, and I'm excited that I'm living long enough to be able to be a witness to it. Look, think of how far medicine has come. I watched this the other day, and it was like, wow, robotic surgery. Somebody is on the other side of the country doing surgery robotically. The fact that we can do Zoom and do this class right here on Zoom. Things are progressing, and it's changing every aspect of our life. So enjoy the ride.
I have another question, Bishop.
Okay.
In a world where it seems that all the focus, well, not all the focus, but a lot of focus is being put on how people identify. Could you talk a little bit about, first I'll say, where did the age of Aquarius transition from? So I'm referring to the Piscean age. Like, what's that shift? And can you correlate that to this sense of identity that people are having, where we are choosing to identify the gender that makes sense for us, or we're choosing, like you said, the career paths that are different? You know, like, could you correlate the age of Pisces with the age of Aquarius, and then the changes of, you know, just the way we're thinking? Because you pretty much already said it, but could you marry it together for us?
Sure, sure, sure. If you look at the age of the Piscean age, think of the Piscean age. What did the world look like? We had the model of the family together. We had Jesus brought in the Piscean age, okay? And when Jesus brought in the Piscean age, it took us out of being group consciousness to individual consciousness, and the model of living within these boundaries. And this is perfect, and love, and what love is. Look how over the last 100 years, we've worked at struggling defining what love is. Jesus brought in the Piscean age, which was about breaking down the barriers, about how do we treat each other, how do we respect each other, how do we love each other, and a deeper meaning of love. Now we move into the Aquarian age. And this is only part of it, because there's layers of this, okay? When you look at now the Aquarian age, a lot of young people, I'm going to make this, I'm going to get in a little trouble. I'm going to make this as simplistic as I can. But remember, this is only one aspect of it. Many people are incarnating back to the planet faster than before. The cycle of reincarnation, which might have taken people 1,000 years before they came back. Now people are leaving the planet and come back like in 500 years, or coming back within 200 years. And so we find these souls that are coming back much faster, which means, look at how many, I was looking at this thing the other day of these young kids that are graduating from college like at 15 and IQs of 141. And there's one young kid, a Black kid, he just graduated high school, and is on his way. He's got a scholarship, I think it's to Harvard and Yale or something else. And he's like 13. They're coming back, and coming back more equipped and more, bringing all of that energy with them. Those that feel like I'm gonna give you just one example. This is, I'm in the wrong body, but maybe because in the last life you were maybe a female, or maybe, you know, you have decided that this is the best way for me to express and learn the lessons I need to learn, and the people around me need to learn the lessons. We said we came out of the lessons that we learned, absolute love, prove it. So we got many layers that happens all at the same time. The key to this is, which I encourage everybody, try to stay in a place of non-judgmental. I can't judge you, I can't judge you, I can't judge you, I can't judge anybody on the choices that you make, because those are the lessons that you need to learn. And if I said that I can be in a place of being non-judgmental, well, let me see. Whatever you claim that you can do, the universe will test you on it. Okay. Anybody else? I think are we close?
That was excellent. Thank you so much. I really appreciated that explanation, and I got something out of it. I appreciate it. Thank you.
You are so welcome. Yeah, but and you know, we could talk more about it because there are, like I said, many explanations of how things unfold itself. And once we say, I've been talking about this lately, there's a difference between a personal yes and a sacred yes. Your personal yes is like, hey, I'll be at your party, but I don't show up. You know, something got in the way. Um, I was going to cook dinner, but I am not in the mood. You see, you can break your personal yes. A sacred yes is what you have committed to. That is when you discover your purpose in life and you come and you live your truth. And there is no breaking it. There's no out clause in your sacred yes. I have no choice but to teach the way I teach. This is part of my sacred yes. I have no choice but to live the way I live. This is part of my sacred yes. And because I live in my sacred yes, I understand that most of my life I've been in a teacher's mode. I'm an instructor in martial arts. I've been an instructor in dance. I've been, you name it. Most of the time I end up in leadership positions, even when I don't want it. And I surrendered and said, okay, this is my calling. So I have to live in my calling. And when you do that, you will find that your life path is really smooth. There are going to be some people that understand your life path, some people that don't. And sometimes the choices that I've had people that literally have said to me, I could never live like you. Don't. I'm free. I've made some life choices. I've worked on my own since the 70s. And I've had people that said to me, oh no, I could never work like that. I need a job that the 9 to 5. Then go to your 9 to 5. As our dear friend Melvin Dill used to say, God did not give you a skill, God gave you skills. Use them. All right. Well, thank you for that question and I hope that it helps somebody else to understand where they are on their path. And that when we look at metaphysics, it is a branch of philosophy, but it tells you to question everything. Why is that there? Why do I believe what I believe? See, if your belief system never changed, that means that you have been stuck in dogma. My belief system is constantly doing this, it's constantly changing. I see God bigger. I see more of a connection. I see God expressing the God self in many different ways. And is every way for me to understand? No. But my job is to also, even sometimes when I may not understand the path that you've taken, it's working for you, yes, so that I can be free to go on my path too. And we're going to see that more and more in the country. Watch. It's just starting, baby. It is just starting, where people are going to be expressing themselves in different ways. And it's like, nope, got to change that. Nope, that's not happening. Nope, let's do it differently. And the scary part is that most people think, if I do it different, it's wrong. No, it's not wrong. It's just different. Good questions tonight. Good questions. So I thank you for joining me here on Rainey Speaks. The first Tuesday of each month, I will be live on YouTube. And also the first Saturday of each month, I will be teaching live meditation from NSSC, the National Spiritual Science Center, where we teach metaphysics. And it is a community that supports you wherever you are on your journey. I have loved spiritual science. I've been in it since the 70s. Reverend Diane Nagorka is the founder of the National Spiritual Science Center of Washington, D.C. She is 99 years old. She is one of my mentors. But we are in a constant state of growth. And when we can embrace that, we're okay. We can keep molding and changing and fitting in, and it's a beautiful ride. All right. Well, if anybody has one more question, I might be able to take it and answer it in a short time. You see, my answers are sometimes very long.
I do have a question, but I want to see if anybody else does before I go. Okay. This is going to be actually more of a technical question, I think, regarding training. You trained myself and several other people in metaphysics, and I personally would like to. I mean, I have a credential, but what would be the process for someone who's already got a lot of metaphysical training to come into NSSC to get a diploma? What would be that process?
Oh, the beauty of NSSC, next year, the school opens up. We will be doing workshops this year on different subjects. I'm getting ready to do a real piece on understanding the chakras, the positive, negative, how to balance it, how it functions in your life. Most people are familiar maybe with the 7 chakras of the body. There's over 200 different chakras in the body and how they function. But we will deal with the 7 major, 8, one over the top of the head, chakras in the body, and how to recognize the behavior from the different chakras. So you will be able to come and take different type of workshops, including becoming a life coach. We will be adding life coaching into the process. And so there are modules that you can just take a class itself, or you can go through personal development. You will be able to go through healing techniques. You can go through becoming a life coach, or you can become an ordained minister. So you will be able to pick and choose topics that you might want to study more, or just maybe study for the first time.
Well, with those of us who are already ordained, how would that work with classes at NSSC? Because I am interested in learning.
You're always going to be learning. Listen, I've been at this for 40 years and I'm still learning.
Yeah, that's what I said. I know I want to take more classes, but so those of us who are already ordained, well, we would just take individual classes. You
will see there'll be some modules that might be like 6 weeks. Some will be like a weekend. And you will be able to take different parts of it. You know, if you want to learn the techniques of life coaching, our brother Robert Pruitt will be leading that. Healing techniques, several of us will be teaching different healing techniques, from color therapy to pranic healing to chakra balancing. So yeah, you'll be able to just take several different classes that we will be lining up for you to come and take.
Okay.
Okay, so yes, and thank you guys, and help spread the word that the National Spiritual Science Center is, you can find it online with the National Spiritual Science Center Institute, INST.org. We're on Facebook, and you can go to the website. We are beginning to bring some of the classes, and each month you will find different subjects that will be introduced, and later we will have us that you'll be able to pick and choose. I can take this, I can take this. Like I said, some of the classes may be a weekend, some of the classes may be like a 6-week journey. Depend on the subject.
Okay.
So I look forward to you guys coming and help spread the word for Rainey Speak on Tuesday nights. I appreciate it.
All
Well,
right.
we're down to the wire here. I appreciate everybody for coming, and I appreciate the questions from Africa Lynn and Celestia. Thank you for that. And actually, my brother G. Carlos, who threw the topic at me on where are we on this. I love teaching metaphysics. I love explaining things. I love because it brings a whole different perspective for understanding scriptures, but it also brings a different perspective on how you can operate in the world. That's most important. That is what Jesus was trying to teach. And this right here, we can't get caught up on the outside. What did he say? The kingdom of heaven is within. Right. So, you know, the first 3 chakras in the body deal with out here. When you get to the heart, it embraces you and turns you inward. And so we need to understand the meanings and the purpose of everything that we do. Well, good people, and I will say a thank you, because there are those who constantly support and keep this going, and I appreciate it. You can support it on Cash App, or I forgot the other one.
Venmo, Cash App,
Cash App.
and PayPal.
PayPal, that's the one I'm thinking of. PayPal. So I appreciate it, and I look forward to having you with me next week. I pray that the universal force, God, anointing and grace and mercy fills you, surrounds you, keep you, protect you. I pray that everybody that see you, hear you, touch you, even think of you, will experience the constant growth of love in your life, that your light shines so bright that it clears all darkness out of your way, and that you live in perfect peace. And no hurt or harm can even touch you or come your way. For these blessings and all blessings, I simply say, thank you. I'm going to pray myself happy.
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
I receive.
Yes, yes, yes. Okay, thank you.
All right,
Thank
thank you.
Jessica.
Everybody have a good evening.
You too.
Minister Reverend Celestia.
Yes.
I said you too.
Oh, same to you. Okay. Good night.
Good night.